In this part, we will be going over weight painting and fixing up issues with the rig. So, what we need to do is go back to that layer that had all the green bones in it. So select the rig layers tab here and hold shift and left click that. So now we have our deformed bones here. And what we need to do is go to our jacket, and you go to the vertex groups tab over here. So that's right next to the modifiers tab and right behind the materials tab. And you'll see we have several bones here that have deformation but have no bearing on the jacket, like the toe. So we can so what we can do with these vertex groups is this minus here will get rid of them. And these vertex groups were added when we parented this mesh to the rig. The rig controls the mesh via adding vertex groups to it wherever each bone is. So we just need to go through these and delete the bones that don't affect the rig here. So we need to delete the toe and the foot. Toe and the foot. Now we need to find, okay, so where you see pinky here, basically delete all the finger bones that you see. So we're just going to go individually through these and delete them. Whoops. Okay. So we're getting the stuff that affects the rig here. So the forearm and the hand are okay, but the palm isn't. So get rid of the palm. So basically go and do the same thing again. Stop right when you see hand. Okay, there we go. So now we're getting rid of facial controls here that don't need to be affecting the jacket at all. All these brows, jaws, cheekbones, all these, just keep hitting minus until you get to, it'll say spine 006. Once you hit a bone or vertex group that says DEF spine .006, you'll want to keep that. Just keep going. There we go. There was spine .006. There we go. So we want to keep this as a vertex group. If you mess up, just hit Control Z and it'll be fine. Okay, so there we go. Now we went through and deleted all the bones that don't affect this. So now only the head bone should do something. But you see our weights are now messed up. So we have to go in and actually individually do weight painting on it. So we need to select this bone here. Not the bone, my bad. The jacket. Hit Control Tab. Now we're in what is called weight paint mode. Weight paint mode allows you to go in and add weights from the bones to the mesh so that each bone has a set amount that it affects each part of the rig. So you see this bone, so this head bone is affecting this the hood here via the weights, and the weights, the more it affects a part of the mesh, the more red it'll be. The less it affects the part of the mesh, the more yellow, green, blue, until it gets to dark blue. That's how it'll change, depending on how much is affecting it. So right now, this head bone is only affecting this much of the head, because the rest of this is blue. It's not affecting any other part of it. Now, in order to make it affect more than this blue part, we have to add weights to it. So we're going to right click and select this bone here. I'm going to go to Tools, just to make sure that we're on this tool tab for later. But what we need to do is we need to, so we have this selected here. Now I actually want to tab into edit mode. I'm going to hit Z so that we can see where the vertices are. And what we need to do is hold Alt and right click these edge loops here. Just want to select all of these. In fact, just hit C on the side view and we can select all of these vertices in here. And these as well. There. So now we want to do is go to where it says spine 006, and that should be highlighted because we right clicked on it when we were in vertex mode or weight paint mode. So now what we need to do is where it says assign and where it says weight of 1, leave that alone, but click assign. So now if I hit tab and go into weight paint mode, you'll see that now it fully affects this part of the hood, but like nothing at the bottom. What we're going to do though is we're going to select the parts of the bottom that it doesn't affect individually. We're going to change the weight. So this vertice right here, or this loop of vertices, remember to hit Alt and right click to select these. I want to change the weight from 1. I'm going to click this and type 0.7. Change that to 0.7, and then we're going to hit assign. And now you'll see that that part is yellow. So it goes from red to yellow to green. Now I want this to go from red to yellow to green to blue. So what we can do is tab back into edit mode, Alt right click, select this loop of vertices here. I'm going to change the weight to 0.5. I'm going to hit assign, and now if I tab into weight paint mode, you'll see it goes from red to yellow to blue. So now I want it to go from I want it to be a bit like gradual, keep gradually going down. So select this edge loop here and go to the weight, change the weight to 0.3, and then hit assign. Then we tab into weight paint mode, and you'll see that now it's at a weight of 3. So now when I select the control head bone and I rotate it, you'll see that it's not affecting the head so harshly like it or the hood at least like it was last time. So now we need to add some weights from the neck to the hood also. So see, it already has them there, but it doesn't have them on the rest of the hood area. So what we need to do is we need to select this edge loop here, and this is on spine 005, so we're from 006 to 005. Make sure this is selected and go to a weight of 1 and assign that weight. So now if I tab, you'll see that now this bottom part is red, which is what we want. Now next thing, go up here, change this. We're going to go straight from that one to 0.5 this time. I'm going to click assign, and there we go. So now it goes up like so. So now when I select this and I rotate it, again, it's not so harsh, and we get a better rotation out of it. Also, if you move these bones around, none of these bones affect the hood anymore. Which is what we were going for. Now, I don't want the head to affect the collar, which is good. Well, maybe a little bit, because we do need when the hood, so when I rotate the head and the hood moves this way, you see it goes through the collar. So we're probably going to need the head to affect the collar a little bit. So we need to go to edit mode, select this edge loop here. In fact, what we can do is, because there's only this one big loop until it gets down here, so what we can do is hit Control R, add 3 edge loops in there with our mouse scroll. We remember, scroll up adds edges, scroll down subtracts them. So add 3, left click once and then right click. And so now we have more in here to work with. So I want to select this top one, and on spine 006, make sure that's selected. Go to weight of 1 and click assign. Now I see this is red. I'm going to go down here, go to a weight of 0.7, click assign. You'll see its effect there. I'm going to go here, and we'll go from 0.7 straight to 0.3 this time. Click assign, and there you go. So now when I select this bone and I move the head, you'll see that the collar now follows the hood, and that's the kind of movement that we want. Okay. If you're confused on how to get this mode of view, I hit Z. This is basically going into wireframe mode. So just hit Z again and you'll be back in the view, so you can switch like that. Now, so that's good for the jacket, but or the top of the jacket, but you'll notice if I select the hand bone here and I hit G to grab, you'll see that this loop right here that we made for the jacket doesn't follow the jacket. And so what we need to do is tab into, or stay in this mode right here, select this bone, this arm bone, upper arm.L. And what we need to do, before we actually get to that, we need to turn on mirror for the jacket. So go to your options menu here. Remember, if you don't have the T panel open, just hit T on the keyboard and then select X-axis mirror. So now what I want to do is select the hand bone, hit Alt G, select this upper arm.L bone right here, and I'm just going to tab into edit mode, select this loop here that we made when we were modeling, hit Control L to select the whole thing. Then we're going to go to a weight of 1 down here. I'm going to click assign. Now that's completely red. I may or may not have duplicated over to the other side, but let's see. It did not, so we can just do the same thing. So now we selected the dot arm instead of the dot L, so select this bone over here, hit Control L, and then hit assign, and there we go. So now you see, when I move this, the whole part of the jacket follows. Okay. So as far as bone rigging is concerned, notice I said bone rigging, that is it for the jacket. So, hit Control Tab and go back to object mode for the jacket. And we can hide this because now we know that the deformation is good for that. Now we want to work on the deformation for the head. So just select the head, hit Control Tab, and now we want to select this, and now you can see that there are all kinds of weights on this part of the hair for this bone. We don't want that, so we want to tab into edit mode, select all these, and hit remove. So just select this entire head piece here and hit remove for that bone. In fact, all the brow bones, we need to remove it. Every single brow bone. Just go over and remove it, and then same thing for the cheekbones. And the well, it's not controlling the tongue, but if you see any more brows, then remove it. I think we may have removed all the brow bones. Okay, we did. So let's just check just to be sure. No, we didn't. Okay, so we need to select all these, remove them completely. Okay. Good. So now the brows are only affecting brows, the actual eyebrows. Now I want this bone to fully affect the hair. Like, I don't want any other bone affecting the hair except for this one. So tab into edit mode. Make sure this is fully selected all the way. So then select this bone here so we can have it selected. Now our spine 006 with this whole head piece selected, just click assign. There we go. Now it fully controls that bone. Now that's good for the body. So now the shirt, I think the shirt is okay. It looks like it. Let's see what happens when I rotate this. It does alright, but it could do better. So what I'm going to do is actually E to extrude this down, S to scale it up, and that should be fine. Now we can fix the weights on the shirt. So select the shirt, hit Control Tab. And what I'm going to do is select this here. You see it's controlling too much of the bottom. Go to your tools and go to this button here. This is where it looks like it has the blue thing on this. It's like a brush palette here. We want to select this, and we were on draw. We want to go from draw to subtract, and make sure the strength is turned all the way up. And we're just going to click and drag and get rid of those weights. And there we go. So now if I select this, still moving a little bit. What we can do though is tab into edit mode, A to deselect, select all the bones here, and then hit the space bar and type in normal until you find normalize all vertex groups. Click that, and then when we tab into here, it's funny, it made it worse. Control Z that function. So another fix that should work is just to scale it out, and then when we rotate it, it doesn't clip through. There we go. So that's good for the shirt. Now the belt seems fine. The belt seems fine, but you see the skin is peeking through the pants, and we're going to fix that in a second. I just want to see what kind of deformation we're getting in the pants before we fix that. Deformation of the boots looks fine from the last tutorial. So okay, the only problem with the pants is the skin from underneath is leaking under it, and that's a quick fix. So Alt G for that, and everything else looks fine. So this rig function here is working properly. It goes down with the hand, so it's like a punching thing. Okay. So the rest of the rig is fine. So what we need to do for the body though is if I hit Alt, so if I select the shirt here, Alt H, the jacket. Now you see that you don't see the skin on the character except for the face and maybe this part of the arm. So we need to mask these other parts of the body so that we don't have to worry about any clipping from underneath it. So what we can do is select the body here. I'm going to hit tab to go to edit mode. Now we hit Z so that we can go in wireframe to see what we're doing. And we need to hit B for box select, and we're going to select everything below that line there. Now make sure you don't select these though, because if you select too much and you hide it, just go, man. Dang, you take it forever. Some right there, I think, in the little box. Not the box, but the bowl. You're ruining my life. No, that still has stuff in it. Why would you throw that? Because I needed something to chew on. No, it's just hot as hell right now. Where you go? What are you doing now? Huh? Oh. Okay. So, we may go through a little bit of trial and error to get the right amount of bone, not vertices selected. But for now, just stick with this. We're going to select these up here also. Okay. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new vertex group. So go to vertex groups right here, and if it's not open, just click it down. Click plus, and then we're going to double click on group. We're going to name this hidden skin layer, and then we're going to assign it. Now we're going to tab into object mode so we can add this modifier, and you can see the effects of it in wireframe mode, which is Z on the keyboard. So basically go to your modifiers tab, which is right next to the vertex group tab, and we're going to go to add modifier, and we're going to go to mask. And you won't see an effect now until we add the vertex group. So go to vertex group and then type in HID, and there you see our hidden skin layer. So select that, but now you see instead of hiding what we wanted, it hid the face. So what we need to do is we need to invert it with these double arrow buttons here. So see that? So now if I hit Z, you should only see the face and the other part of the body. Now it does kind of look unnatural in here because we could see that before and now we can't. So what we can do though is basically go back to hit tab to go into edit mode and go back to the vertex groups tab here, and we can remove these vertices from the group. Deselect those two vertices there and then reassign them, and so now you'll see that we have that added back in there, though it still does look weird. So we can remove them again, deselect these three, and then assign them again, and there we go. So now you only see what needs to be seen. We're not done rigging yet. We have to actually rig the eyes and the teeth. So we want to select the jacket and hide that. So now what we need to do is we need to select a bone in our rig here, and we need to open up a new layer of bones. So just hold shift and click this layer to deselect it because we don't need it anymore. But we do need this layer here. So this layer contains the eye bone that's going to actually control the eye. So what we need to do is select the eyes and then select this bone here, or the head bone, whichever one. Hit Control P and with automatic weights, just so that you can see what we're going to be doing. You see, if we do that, this eye bone, it doesn't affect the eye because it has deformation turned off. You see, what's actually affecting the eye right now are the face bones. And so what we need to do is we need to unparent the eyes. So just hit Control Z until that's done. So now you see that the eyes aren't parented anymore. And what we need to do is select this eye bone here, go to the doggy bone layer, and uncheck deform. The same thing with this eye over here, or not uncheck, but check it. So now we have deform turned on. Then you want to select this and then select this bone, hit Control P with automatic weights, but it doesn't matter because it still messes up the eye bones. Though they are being controlled by the eye bones that we turn deform on, they're still being controlled by a whole bunch of other face bones. So what we need to do to fix that is select the eyes, go to vertex group, and select this black arrow here and delete all groups. We need to, with the eye still selected, hit Control Tab and go to vertex paint mode. Select this bone here, and then with change this from subtract to mix, and they're just gonna left click and drag over this. Don't do it all the way because we're gonna hit tab into edit mode, select this eye here, hit Control L, and we're going to, with a weight of 1, assign this so that now this bone fully controls the eye. We're going to do the same thing over here. Select this eye bone, left click, tab into edit mode, select the vertex over here, hit L or Control L, and then hit assign with a weight of 1. And now you'll see when we hit Control tab to go back into pose mode here with the rig. If I hit G to grab, you see now the eyes are following normally. Remember, if you're in the middle of a function, you can right click and that'll cancel that function. So now the teeth. So the teeth are very simple. We can actually hold shift and turn off that layer there. So now we can just work with the teeth bones. So what we need to do is select this tooth bone here. We need to go to the doggy bone shaped layer here, and we need to turn deform on. Same thing with the bottom one, turn deform on. And we're going to do a similar function with the teeth. We're just going to go to the teeth here, shift select these bones, hit Control P with automatic weights, but then select the teeth again. Go to the vertex groups, click the downward arrow and click delete all groups. We're going to tab into Control tab into vertex paint mode, and we're going to, with this bone selected, so right click on the top bone, just left click the weight, tab into edit mode, select the vertex on the teeth, hit Control L, and then hit assign with the weight of 1. And now you see that this tooth bone now controls the teeth, or the top tooth here, or the top row of teeth. There we go. Now we need to do the same thing for the bottom row. Select this bone here, make sure it's on mix, just left click a little bit, tab into edit mode, select the vertex down there, hit Control L to fully select it, tab into don't tab in anything. Click assign with the weight of 1, tab into weight paint mode, and now you'll see that the bottom tooth fully controls the bottom row of teeth. Control tab, and now our character is fully rigged. He's not fully rigged. I say I had to correct myself because we actually have to add vertex groups to this jacket to have more controls over these flaps and the hood and the collar here. And we'll do that in the next tutorial.